From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Saturday, July 8th, 2017. Silver is trading at $15.62 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,213 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 2.2 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $2,515. Antiwar.com reports in a decisive 122-1 vote at the United Nations, a global ban on nuclear weapons was approved, a massively important step towards disarmament made somewhat less impactful by all the current nuclear-armed states boycotting the meetings, which doesn't mean that there aren't major powers signing on to the deal. Brazil was a noteworthy signatory, and both Iran and Saudi Arabia signed on the dotted line, along with Egypt, which appears to dramatically reduce the risk of a nuclear arms race in the Middle East. The sole dissenting vote was also the sole NATO member to even attend the meetings, the Netherlands. They've hosted U.S. nuclear arms in the past and appeared loath to sign on to a deal that would effectively oblige them to stop hosting such deals. Generally speaking, close U.S. allies complied with U.S. wishes and boycotted the conference, meaning states like South Korea did not attend, despite having much to lose in a potential nuclear war. Another conspicuous absentee was Japan, which likely reflects the Abe government's desire to keep cozy relations with the United States, but is likely to be hugely controversial within Japan, the only nation to be a victim of a nuclear attack in a war, and a nation with a long history of nuclear disarmament advocacy. Advocates say that while the lack of nuclear states signing is disappointing, it doesn't necessarily make the deal worthless, noting that a similar ban on landmines was spurned by the U.S. and other landmine-using states, but still led to significant, albeit gradual policy changes which have brought many of those nations into de facto compliance with the treaty.
For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
Reuters reports a federal appeals court on Friday rejected Hawaii's request to issue an emergency order blocking parts of Donald Trump's temporary travel ban while the state sought clarification over what groups of people would be barred from travel. The U.S. Supreme Court last month let the ban on travel from 6 Muslim-majority countries go forward with a limited scope, saying it could not apply to anyone with a credible bona fide relationship with a U.S. person or entity. The Trump administration then decided that spouses, parents, children, fiancés, and siblings would be exempt from the ban, while grandparents and other family members traveling from Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, Syria, and Yemen would be barred. Trump said the measure was necessary to prevent attacks. However, opponents, including states and refugee advocacy groups, sued to stop it, disputing its security rationale and saying it discriminated against Muslims. A Honolulu judge this week rejected Hawaii's request to clarify the Supreme Court ruling and narrow the government's implementation of the ban. Hawaii appealed to the 9th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals, saying in a filing on Friday that the appeals court has the power to narrow the travel ban while it decides how to interpret the Supreme Court's ruling. A 3-judge panel of the 9th U.S. Circuit on Friday rejected that argument and said it did not have jurisdiction to hear the appeal. The 9th U.S. Circuit said the Honolulu judge could issue an injunction against the government in the future if he believed it misapplied the Supreme Court's ruling to a particular person harmed by the travel ban. But the appeals court said the judge did not have the authority to simply clarify the Supreme Court's instructions now. In a statement, Hawaii Attorney General Douglas Chin said he appreciated that the 9th U.S. Circuit made the ruling so quickly and that the state will comply. The Department of Justice declined to comment. Lawyers for the DOJ have argued that its definition of close family hews closely to language found in U.S. immigration law, while Hawaii's Attorney General's office said other parts of immigration law include grandparents in that group. The rollout of the narrowed version of the ban was more subdued last week than in January when Trump first signed a more expansive version of the order that sparked protest and chaos at airports around the country and the world.
You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com.
This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.